Did you ever wish to know everything about the heart of a fountain pen, the nib? After this video, I'll promise that you'll have everything you need in order to understand nibs in its entirety. Hey Goodfellas, I'm Naldi and we are at Style of Zug. This is a very special video for me. First, because we're talking about the most important element of a fountain pen, the nib. And second, for the fact that I'm going to release something that I've worked on for months and it has been hours and hours and hours of work, and I cannot wait to release this, because from what you told me on Instagram, where I teased you with it, you told me that you're very much looking forward to it too. But before we start into this exciting journey, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to the channel so we can keep on delivering exciting content around the world of fine writing instruments. Thank you and welcome to this amazing community of Goodfellas. You see, the idea was that if one really wants to understand fine pens, then we probably have to understand everything that is around the pen, but specifically what's most important, we need to understand the heart of a fountain pen and how it performs, how it's made, and everything that revolves around this specific craft. And if you're not collecting since a long time, I can imagine that it might be difficult to have a full picture. What is so special about gold nibs? Who makes the gold nibs? Who does what? How do they write? Should I go for an extra fine, a fine, a medium, or a broad? Is a specific gold nib actually that well made? Or should I rather go for something else? So I understand that all these question marks are probably extremely important when you're starting into the game, but even if you already own several pens, don't have a shop nearby, and would like to understand how a specific pen is going to feel like. And because of all the questions that someone might have, and there's not a shop nearby, and that the community isn't that big yet, and there is not that much content out there all in one place, I am very proud to announce that I have worked the last 6 months, and of course the last 15 years, to gain the experience in order to put together the knowledge around the magical world of fountain pen nibs. And that's why I'm gonna start this video by officially presenting and launching my ebook, A Guide to Fountain Pen Nibs, which is now available on my website, samuelnaldi.com, and you can find the link in the description. But wait before you head over to the end of the website, because I have some things to share, and I also have a special discount code that is gonna be there for just the next 2 days for this amazing community in order to give back and in order to support you and thank you for the trust that you have put in me and in this specific piece of content that I have created. So let me tell you about this ebook, A Guide to Fountain Pen Nibs, which is divided in 9 chapters with a total of 191 pages. And let's go through it and start learning right away about fountain pen nibs. Chapter number 1 is Introduction to Nibs. If we really want to be experts and appreciate and understand nibs, we need to understand its background. Where does the word nib come from? How did it evolve over time? From the Egyptians using reeds on papyrus to the city of Birmingham that had a huge impact and importance for modern metal nibs, up to the inventions of Lewis Edson Waterman, which is probably what we still use today and how we use fountain pens still today. So reading and understanding the history behind nibs really helps us to cherish every single fountain pen that we have in our hand. Then chapter number 2, one that I really love, the anatomy of a fountain pen. How is each single element of the nib named? How do they work together? How do they perform together? What is important? And we have also some beautiful drawings about that in the ebook that David Torsello did for us in order to actually picture and understand everything around the anatomy of a nib. Then chapter number 3, materials that are used in fountain pen nibs. We know that there is steel, there is gold, but there's other materials. Are they still on the market? How do they perform? Should I consider it? Is it something that I'm gonna like? What's the story behind those materials? What are the peculiarities behind those materials? And then chapter number 4, the crafting process of gold nibs. While steel nibs are more common around the world, crafting gold nibs is a very specific know-how know-how that very few companies have. So I'm telling you all about that and giving you information and insights about how such a gold nib is made. And you're gonna see that there are so many steps. And once again, every time you're gonna look at one of your nibs, you're going to cherish and appreciate that piece of gold so much more than if we just would buy the pen and just start using with it without having context around the complexity of the making of such a wonderful gold nib. But then one of the biggest chapters is number 5, comparing nibs across brands. And there I really wanted to describe how each single brand creates or tunes or fits their nibs on their pens. How are they made? What are the peculiarities? How do they feel? I've done writing samples for all the major models, the most important models of the most important brands, from a 145, 146, 149, Star Walker, M1000, M800 of Pelikan, Custom Urushi of Pilot, number 50 and number 20 of Namiki, Sailor King of Pen, Scribo, Carandash, Aurora. So you'll actually be able to see all of these fountain pens, all of these nibs, and see how they perform with a description about how do they feel like, in order for you to also compare that to your own experience and maybe help you if you're looking forward to buy a specific fountain pen to decide if that is actually the piece you want to go for, and probably do, let's call them, less mistakes than if you would just have to buy pens in order to understand if they're actually made for you. And then on chapter number 6, we have selecting the right nib size, where I'm showing you how an extra fine, an extra fine, a medium, a fine, a broad, a flex, a music, a zoom nib, how does the writing of those writing instruments looks like? How does the picture of writing changes? So should I actually consider going for a music nib because I like the way how it writes, or should I just leave it? And there's comparison between a 149 medium nib and a Pelikan medium nib. So you're actually gonna see how much difference there is between these two kind of brands, for example. And then chapter number 7, nibs troubleshooting. What am I gonna do if a nib doesn't work? What can I do? What should I do? Should I be careful? Should I call the company? Should I call the retailer? Should I give it to a nib grinder or a nib tuner or a nib meister? How can I clean the nib? How does a baby bottom looks like? Again, we have drawings about that in order to really picture how it looks and kind of understand why then a fountain pen with a baby bottom doesn't work. And then chapter number 8, which is custom grinding. Some of my customers, they buy the fountain pens from us, but then they have their nib meister who grinds the fountain pen exactly to the pleasure of the user. So for example, I have one customer who always takes his nibs and grinds them to an architect nib, which has a very specific kind of writing style, which is special, which he likes. And in order to do that, he has to go to a custom grinder, to a nib meister. So I'm explaining you when you should actually look forward to go to a custom grinder, what the nib meister can do on your nib, and also how to select a good nib meister, which obviously is absolutely key. And then chapter number 9 is one that I really love, portrait of nibs. I mean, throughout the whole book, there is close-ups of all the nibs that I'm talking about. So you actually have piece of information that you can read, but you're also going to have beautiful images that are inspiring and that let you understand the beauty of each single nib and the details that you can find on such a nib. So when we look at it and the nib is that small, it's just different than when you have the nib on a full page, right? But in chapter number 9, I was saying we have portrait of nibs, where I have just put and shot some very wonderful nibs, limited editions of Montblanc, of Graf, of Sailor, of Namiki, of Carandash, of Scribo. So you actually can get inspired about the beauty of those nibs that we cherish so much, of this instrument that we love so much, that helps us achieve our dreams, put down our ideas, slow down, and reconnect with our inner self. In the book, there's also gonna be some criticism, some things that I think within the industry should be improved, and maybe gives you also a new way to look at fountain pens, and probably is also gonna help push the brands to go over certain limits that they've had until now. So this is the way how we change the game also. It's by having some criticisms, having some ideas about how things can be improved, and then bringing this to the attention of the brand. And we can do that with such a book, but then if you agree with that, it's also up to you as a customer to require that from brands. So you see, Goodfellas, I have really given everything to create a guide that will help you to understand everything around nibs and have a common ground all together to speak about them and to speak about our fountain pens. Because let's not forget, if the feed and the nib are not made exceptionally, we can have any pen we want, we won't be able to use it, and it will just be laying there around. And the idea of this guide, of this ebook, was also to give everyone the chance to read the information, not on several YouTube videos left and right, but having one place where all the information are gathered and curated by myself. And of course, in the ebook, I'm also sharing some of the most important links about YouTube videos that I've done where I explain these things about nibs even further. So the goal is that after reading this ebook, you'll have a 360-degree full picture about nibs, and you'll be able to understand and to speak to anyone, even seasoned collectors, about the heart of a fountain pen. And of course, in order to give back and to thank you for the support, for the trust, for being part of this amazing community of Goodfellas, I'm happy to announce once again that the ebook is available on my website, samuelnaldi.com. The link is in the description, and only for today, Sunday and Monday, you can get 20% off the price with the code Goodfellas. And you're probably asking yourself, how expensive is it? It's pretty much the price of a ticket for going to the movie for a night for 2 hours. The book is 24.95 Swiss francs with the 20% off, less than that. But of course, it's something that you're gonna keep, that you're gonna cherish. It's your ebook with a watermark, with your email on the book, that really shows that you have purchased that specific copy of the ebook. You're gonna have a license key that is connected to the ebook also. And the goal is that you will have and keep this guide and always get back to it whenever you wanna take a decision, whenever you're not sure about something, you can always go back there and read it through again and check the writing samples and then compare them maybe to other information that you have on the net and take a pondered decision and maybe waste less money on products that at the end of the day you're not really going to enjoy, and you're maybe not going to enjoy the way how they write. But how can you know if you didn't have the chance to actually try it? So this is exactly one of the ways how you're going to take advantage of this ebook, A Guide to Fountain Pen Nibs. Well, Goodfellas, now it's your turn. First of all, let me know down in the comment if you're happy about this release and if you're looking forward to purchase a copy of this ebook. Obviously, I'm always reading your comment, I'm always commenting on your comments, and I cannot wait to see what kind of impact this has had on the community and if it's actually something that you were waiting for and that you were looking forward to get. And of course, I can never thank you enough for being so passionate, for supporting also the work that I do and that we do here at Style of Zug. And of course, it's always together that we are changing the game.